Oh, she don't see the light that's shining deeper than the eyes can find it. Maybe we're made of blind.
Hi, hello ladies, and welcome back to A Love Perspective with Jasmine. As you can see, I do not have my backdrop today, which means I am at home, I am in my bedroom, and I'm definitely in my comfort zone. So, besides the missing backdrop, you still have me. So today, I want to get started on the topic of insecurities. I know when you initially think of insecurities, you're thinking of someone that doesn't think they're pretty enough or attractive enough. Insecurities are often associated with our outer being, and I wanted to speak on this topic because insecurities are definitely something that have played a very large role in my life forever. And this is not a topic that I've mastered. So if you're looking for somebody that's mastered self-confidence, mastered self-esteem, mastered not being insecure, this is not the episode for you. This is the episode for my ladies and my gentlemen that are still struggling with insecurities and still trying to, every day dig yourself out of a certain type of hole that insecurity puts you in. And the reason this topic came to mind to me is because recently a friend of mine, we're in the car and we were speaking, and she told me that I am defensive about everything. And when she told me I was defensive about everything, I got defensive, of course. I'm like, defensive about everything? Like, I'm not too defensive. That couldn't be me. But you guys know how big I am on self-reflecting. So, of course, I self-reflected, and it turns out I am actually like a 10 on the defensive chart. And so I wanted to, during my self-reflecting, I wanted to take some time and figure out, why am I always so defensive, and where does this, serious need to defend myself against everybody, where does it stem from? Because every problem we have, it stems from somewhere. So I started to look at the things that offend me the most. And here are a few of the things that will get me going. Now, here are just a few of the things that tend to get me going and make me really defensive. 1, anything about cheating. When people try to validate anything a man does, double standards drive me up the wall, you guys. I hate double standards. I hate liars. I hate cheaters. I hate those type of things. And if I find anybody making excuses for them, or anybody making it okay to do under any circumstances, I get so defensive. And I don't know if it's because I've been cheated on so much, or maybe it's because I've been lied to and deceived so many times that I'm so defensive about it. Another thing I'm very, very, very defensive about is dark-skinned girls, because I am a dark-skinned girl. So when I see things like, oh, red bones are better, or dark-skinned girls are ugly, or dark-skinned girls are ratchet, that drives me up the wall, because I am a dark-skinned girl. So I'm like, I have to stand up for us. Another thing that drives me crazy is comparisons. I hate when let me be more precise. I hate when people compare women's physical features, because as a woman, it's already so hard to keep ourselves up physically and emotionally without everybody in the world constantly comparing us against one another. And so you know where I'm going with this. So after I looked at these top 3-4 things that drive me up the wall, I realized that the reason these things drive me up the wall is because they're so personal and they hit so close home to me. So if you are a person that is defensive, it's probably safe to say you may be struggling with a few self-esteem issues. And when you think of self-esteem, don't hide yourself or feel ashamed because you are dealing with self-esteem issues, because here's the secret that nobody wants us to know. Everybody deals with self-esteem issues. Nobody is just almighty confident unless they're like a narcissist or something. Then they might be. But then again, even narcissists are secretly very insecure. That's why they're narcissists to begin with. So don't, ball up and shell up and be like, oh my gosh, she said that it means I have a self-esteem issue. That doesn't necessarily always have to be a bad thing. It's just another one of the many things that we all have to work on throughout life. Now, one of the ways I've chosen to deal with my self-esteem issues is, first and foremost, you have to stop comparing. Comparisons are no one's friends. Now, bear with me. Here's reality. In the world, in the outside world, you will always be compared against another. Whether it's comparison about who's smarter, who dresses better, who has the nicer body, who has the better car, who has the better house. Outsiders are always going to compare, and that's not something we'll ever, ever, ever be able to avoid. But when you start comparing things and comparing yourself and your life to others, personally and as an individual, then there you let insecurities kick in. For example, if you're a pretty girl, but you don't even realize that you're that pretty, or maybe you haven't acknowledged the beauty within you, or you may not feel pretty or attractive at all. And then you're constantly on Instagram and Twitter and Snapchat and, even out in the world at the mall, you're looking at all these beautiful women. They have perfect skin, they have perfect hair, they have perfect bodies, they dress so amazing. And you're comparing yourself against them, you're always gonna feel less than. Because one thing I've learned with comparisons is you either compare yourself and you feel better than somebody, which is never true, or you compare yourself and you feel less than somebody, which is also never true. It's all in your mind. So I always tell females, look at the beauty within yourself. If your looks and your body and your physical form is the number one height of your insecurities, the last thing you want to go do is comparing it to everyone else who you think is perfect. Because here's another secret. That perfect woman or those perfect looking females that you're comparing yourself to, they are comparing themselves to someone else and they are having insecurities as well. There are beautiful girls who may not like their teeth, or they feel like they have a little pudge. Mine is a baby bump. Or they have problematic skin like me. I definitely have problematic skin. It's not the worst skin, of course, and people always tell me all the time I kind of over dramatize my skin problems, but it's not perfect and it's not super smooth. So, of course, that's definitely one of my biggest insecurities. And I find that I'm even more insecure about it because everyone else around me seems like they just don't have breakouts. Like, I'm like, my mom doesn't have breakouts. My sisters don't have breakouts. My friends don't have breakouts. Like, if everyone around you has this perfect blemish-free skin, and then you have problematic skin, then you're always feeling like something's wrong with me. I'm never going to be good enough. I don't look good enough. Nothing's good enough. So you see, I'm comparing myself to these people and I'm making what is my deficiency or what I feel is my deficiency much larger than it actually is, because I've never even been teased or, talked about for my skin. This is something that I personally have only made a problem. You get what I'm saying? Now, if you're one of those people whose insecurities are more of an internal thing, maybe you don't feel like you're smart enough, or you don't feel like you can dance well enough, or you don't feel like you can speak well enough. If those are your insecurities, the last thing you want to go do is stare Oprah Winfrey down and listen to her on the TV show and then go in the bathroom and start trying to talk, because then you're like, I don't sound as intellectual as Oprah Winfrey, or I'm not as smart as Napoleon was, and whatever the case may be. Again, you are comparing yourself. Each of us were individually created perfectly in God's image. Each of us were individually created to be wonderful as ourselves. There is no one else in the world that's you. So you're already amazing. You're already wonderful. And while you're mentally tearing yourself down for your own shortcomings, someone else is looking at you and wishing, wow, I wish I could be more like her, or I wish I could be more like him. And you may be inspiring somebody, but people don't realize that while you're looking from the outside looking in and you're seeing someone that's so amazing, People are battling themselves for their own shortcomings on the inside. And a lot of times we hide our insecurities because we don't want people to get ammunition to tear us down more than we're already tearing ourselves down. So we hide them and we bury them, and most of the time we disguise them. But here I am in the car with someone that's very close to me, and they're telling me, you are always defensive. And then look what I figure out. I'm so defensive about the things that I am so insecure about. So it's like you've spent so much time trying to disguise and hide these insecurities, but they're showing up in your other behaviors. Like I've told you in previous videos, the subconscious mind trumps everything. So even though I'm not outwardly saying, I hate my skin, or I hate when people say I'm too dark. My whole life people have been telling me I'm too dark. Like, I hate that. I may not be saying that blatantly, but I'm saying it in other ways, and it's showing up in my actions in other ways. And even though I thought I was hiding it, I actually showed my insecurity. And now if a person is smart enough and woke enough, they can catch those things, and they're going to end up using it as ammunition anyways. So the best thing you can do is get comfortable with your shortcomings, because it is your shortcomings as well as the great things about you that make you everything that you are. You are no less than the beautiful woman standing in front of you, nor are you any less than the intelligent woman at the top of the corporate office. You are capable of being everything and then some. And to someone else, you are amazing. You are beautiful. You are smart. You're independent, and you can do anything. And if you keep focusing on your shortcomings and your insecurities and where you've fallen short, then you're never going to really meet your true potential, because you're being held back by them ugly voices in your head that are telling you you're not good enough. Do you know how long it took for me to get comfortable enough to say, I'm going to get on camera, I'm going to start a YouTube vlog, and I'm going to share my personal journey growing into a young lady? That was really hard for me, because I'm not always the most secure about how I look. And the last thing I want to do is put myself out there on a national website where people can look at me however long, whenever they want to, and say really mean things about me. I didn't want to expose myself that much, but I knew that speaking to women and uplifting women and letting my voice be heard, that is what I feel and I know in my spirit to be my calling. And if I spend my whole life hiding from the camera and hiding behind a keyboard, I'm never going to reach my true potential. And that's why I tell people all the time, don't let your insecurities hold you back from your true potential, because you are not your shortcomings. And they are not nearly as profound as you like to think they are. And they do not trump everything. And anybody that tries to make you feel like they do, or tries to throw them in your face and use them against you, that's just a reflection of their own insecurities. So don't let your insecurities hold you back. Face your insecurities. Embrace your insecurities and love yourself for everything that you are. Because when you learn to love yourself for everything that you are, black spots on your face, little pimples here and there, short hair, little pudges, bad grades, bad history, broken homes, whatever your shortcoming may be, whatever your deficiency may be, at the end of the day, you are still amazing. And those things do not trump all the things that make you amazing. So do not allow them or give them a power to trump those things. Step over those insecurities and get past them and say, yes, I may not be perfect, but neither is anyone else in the world. But I am still divine, and baby, I am still fine. You get what I'm saying? So that's my vlog for you guys today. Write me, DM me, like, comment, share. And if you ever need someone to talk to, or you want me to get into more depth, just comment below or DM me on Instagram or Twitter and let me know, and I will happily get more into depth. I try to keep these as short as possible because I know you guys don't want to sit in front of the computer all day. Check in next week. Thank you.
There's a hope that's waiting for you.